And so I think it's important that you understand the clinical trial process. I'm not saying that the pill is bad. I just want you to think about how to make health decisions for yourself. You want to be especially vigilant, especially staying on top of it. Once I got the information I needed, I started to move in that direction, how to make health decisions for yourself.
In your mind, what would you say to brothers that's not vaccinated or just people in general?
I'm glad to hear you are protected, and thanks for being so honest here on Keeping It 100, because that's what we do. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Keeping It 100, where we have these open and honest conversations to make sure you have all the health information you need to make good health decisions. I am your host, Dr. Krista Motley. My voice is back. Y'all can hear me loud and clear. I'm not coughing. I'm back. So as always during the show, we have a pharmacist in the background checking for questions and comments. That is Dr. Renee Jones today. She'll be in just a sec. So just pop your questions and comments there. But right now I want to bring in my amazing, awesome, talented street practitioner co-host, Mr. George Mink Jr. Georgie.
Hey, good afternoon, Doc.
Hey, Georgie. I have a voice this week.
I see. I like that intro too. They getting chunky. I like that. I'm gonna have to start putting stripes on my shirt. Yeah.
I got you. Because you got all these skills. I gotta let people know what I'm working with over here. You got skills, and people need to know.
Right.
My mom had called me. She saw last week's show. She was like, "Don't you ever in your life do a show when you sick." She was like, "You are a professional. You know better than that. You cancel the show." I was like, I didn't want to cancel because we need to talk about monkeypox, and I didn't want to delay. I don't care. You don't ever do that in your life again. So I can't be sick on a Wednesday because I can't be canceling shows. And my mom said I can't go back on air when I'm coughing and can't talk. So sorry, Ma. I got you.
She had to give you a verbal, Doc, because
she got all up in me. I was about to cry. I'm like, man, I thought I was doing the right thing by doing what I said I was going to do. She was like, no, cancel the show.
Yeah. Or I could have just held it down for you, but it's fine.
You could have. Yeah, you could have, because you have held it down in the past. You have held it down.
Right.
Like when I couldn't get out the bed sick, you had my back.
Right, Doc.
So what you been up to? What's going on?
Still out here, outreaching with our folks. I've been going through Chester, Delco, Darby, Yayton, all the boroughs. Just talking to people, still trying to get people vaccinated. The big deal, what's going on now is school approaching. A lot of parents kind of fearful of what they expect in the school year. Had a big week last week. Did an event with Jonathan King. Did a reentry expungement parting clinic. We was in the building.
Yes.
Shout out to Francis who held it down. That's me.
Look at that boo right there. Clean.
Barbados or somewhere. But
he clean.
Yeah, there she go. Francis held it down. Made a lot of nice contacts, and it was a great event, like great community event. There go C's and Dr. Williams. Brothers. They're my other partners for my other squad. And just a great event, Doc, like overall community based. A lot of entities was there. This is we play a big part in the community, getting the information out, all health issues and things that they might not know, but things that we can let them know and assist them with. So
that's great awesome. Event. I heard it was a lot of guys that came through, like a lot of people came through to get their records expunged. And so it's great that you all were there to share that information and to help our brothers like start to get their lives back together. So kudos to everyone who put that together, you, Jonathan, and everybody else on board. Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. So last week we talked about monkeypox. We had a good show on monkeypox, so y'all can go back and check that out. But I wanted to say that I read something recently that they're close to calling it an STD. And the reason being is that they knew that the monkeypox virus can be found in the sperm, but they didn't know if it was enough virus in the sperm to be to transmit the disease to someone else. That they didn't know. And so that is one big part of why they held off on calling it an STD. But the research is coming out and starting to show that there may be enough virus in the sperm to transmit it through sperm, which would make it an STD. So I didn't read up on it today. I have to go back and see what the latest is on that. But it may end up being called an STD. So it's not just that you can get it by touching and rubbing for prolonged periods of time. If it is transmitted through the sperm, and the person can get monkeypox that way without any touch. If the sperm touches you, that's one thing. But if your skin to skin contact is how they were primarily said that it was spread. But now if it's just the sperm that has the virus that touches skin, if it's spread that way, then it'll be an STD. So we will keep an eye on that. If you have questions about monkeypox, like where to get tested, where to get the vaccine, where to get treated, you can contact the Delaware County Health Department Wellness Line. That number is 484-276-2100. Again, 484-276-2100. If you have questions about monkeypox, where to get tested or treated, you can also email them at delcowellness@co.delaware.pa.us. Again, delcowellness@co.delaware.pa.us. So reach out to the county health department if you're in Delaware County to find out where to go and where to get tested or treatment. Wow. All right, so let's flip on over to COVID, because the CDC then pulled back restrictions. School about to start. I'm clutching my pearls. I'm like, what my kids gonna do? So some changes are coming up. They're saying you don't need to quarantine anymore if you're exposed. So if you live with someone that's been that's tested positive, you don't have to, stay away from other people. You can just be out until you end up having symptoms or testing positive. They are also not recommending just general masking, but just masking if there's high transmission in your community. And right now, that's about 40% of the country live in communities where transmission is high. So it sounds like you just have to know what transmission rates are in your area and make sure that you have a well-fitted mask, a surgical mask, a KN95, something good, not just a t-shirt, cloth kind of mask. Just really get yourself protected and protect everyone around you. They're also saying no routine testing. So they were doing this test to stay in schools. And so you're only going to be, you're only going to be testing if you have symptoms or if you're exposed. Of course, I'm going to start coughing.
Right. Don't start that. I'm calling mom. You back? Okay. Oh,
now I'm getting the sneezes and the coughs.
Right.
Great job. Hey, Keystone 291. Thanks for checking in. So you're getting. So I had a conversation with someone today who says that they live with someone who just tested positive, and this person tested negative. And so this person thinks that they're out of the woods. And so my response is, you need to get tested probably every other. I would get tested every day, but every other day, like every 48 hours, get tested to make sure you don't turn positive, because a negative test is just what is happening in your body at this time. Especially if you live with someone, if it's a partner, y'all close, it's especially important to realize that you are at risk of getting COVID. And if you don't test again, then you're out in the public, you're out in the streets, and you could be spreading it to your children, to your other family members, to people who have not been vaccinated yet. And so as individuals, we have a responsibility to ourselves, to our family, but to the community at large too. So that means you got to get tested, especially if you start to develop symptoms. Definitely need to get tested. And that's like any kind of cold symptom, a cough, headache, runny nose, sneezing, body aches, like any kind of cold or flu symptoms. It does not mean it's COVID. It just could be. So you get tested to find out if it is or not. So I'm saying testing every other day for at least a week. I forget what the CDC recommends, but just know that because you're close to that person, you could end up getting COVID. And so you want to test so that when you turn positive, you stay home for 5 days and then you mask for an additional 5 days if you can't stay home for 10 days.
Wow.
Anything on that, George? Do you have any questions that come to mind? I know that was
pretty
a lot.
much, you pretty much hit everything. I mean, we definitely entering the flu season as well as school season. A lot of parents are on the fence, with vaccinating their kids or even boosting their kids. I got a lot of booster questions while I was doing my outreach this week. And a lot of parents are concerned with the booster. They also heard one of our shows when we talked about the new booster coming out to fight the updated variant. So one parent wanted to know, should she wait? Or, I guess I'll wait for our guests to come in with some of the issues, but that's pretty much what's going on out here. A lot of parents are scared, especially with the restrictions being lifted. No guidelines, basically. You're just basically on your own. Your only protection is basically the vaccination. So
yeah, I mean, we have to get there at some point, and let's bring in Dr. King. So he is no stranger to keeping it 100.
Right.
He's a pediatrician. He's from Delaware County. He primarily works in West Philly. Dr. King, welcome to Keeping It 100.
What's going on with that?
While he's coming in, I wanted to go back to something you had mentioned. Can't
There we
remember.
go.
Hey, Dr. King.
Hey, Doc.
You on mute.
You on mute, Doc.
Hey, now is it working?
Yeah, we can hear you.
All right. Yeah. So glad to see everybody. Last time I was at the barbershop next to the wellness center.
Yep.
Yeah. I still haven't got my hair cut.
But,
I ain't worried about haircuts.
Smooth.
It's
all good.
I'm an OG. We don't have to cut our hair and have the.
Nah, Doc, you good. You good, Doc.
That's for the young guys.
Y'all get away with it. Yeah, but we wanted to bring you on to talk about this CDC pulling back restrictions. Parents are concerned. I know I'm a concerned parent. At least there's one concerned parent, me. So I'm sure there are many others. So I just wanted your take on, how concerned should parents be about the new updates to the CDC recommendations?
Well, I don't think we need to be concerned about the CDC recommendations because we're in America and America is the worst. So we just have no ability at the federal, state, or local level to kind of to make decisions as a public health or political, and it's mainly politics.
Yes,
so, unfortunately, we're managing I would say it's not really fair to say it's a pandemic because in the United States we're probably 90% plus of all Americans have either been vaccinated or have caught COVID.
Yes, I saw that.
Or a combination of both. So 90% of us have some immunity from surviving. Remember, 1 million of us don't have immunity because we died.
Yeah.
Miss Cleat and I can think of a couple of church folks. My cousin Charles, so they did not. Their immunity did not protect them. They did not have the vaccine available, and some of us had the vaccine and didn't take it, and we died. And I think we have to at some point realize we have to deal with the fact that now COVID is an epidemic, meaning it's going to be an ongoing every year issue, like the epidemic of violence in our country, like the flu is in many ways a minor epidemic. It kills tens of thousands of people every year, but we kind of just don't worry about it. But we have to worry about COVID just like we have to worry about some of these other things that are a chronic problem. Racism, maybe. Another epidemic. But we have to take COVID seriously like we take racism, at least, or police brutality, meaning, we're on our own. But that doesn't mean we have to ignore it. We have to be to say, how are we going to attend to this situation that's not going to go away, but has to be managed so we don't die. right?
Mm-hmm.
So the thing is, if you kind of just say, well, I got COVID, what I try to explain to everybody is COVID is like a bullet. It does not kill you most of the time. Actually, most people who've been shot actually don't die, but it always leaves you with an injury and damage. You know, it's believed now that probably 50% of children and 2/3 of adults who caught COVID have some prolonged symptom, which would be characterized as long COVID. So I caught COVID before vaccination. I had COVID brain fog for months. I'm not sure if I am back. If you look at some interviews I did in the 2020s, and I was a little foggy, and I think COVID was a part of that. A little more ridiculous than need be. So, and then I had heart palpitations for 9 months after COVID.
Wow.
Now, so the thing is, most people, if I have moms who had COVID in the 2020 year or 2021, they still don't have their taste or smell back. Food still tastes like cardboard.
Wow.
So people who have, my wife, she had hearing damage, and she still doesn't have full hearing back and forth. So everybody who says, yeah, you know, I still feel short of breath. Yeah, you probably have lung damage. You are still not recovered from your COVID pneumonia. So this idea that somehow like 5 days, you get over COVID, everything's good. Maybe not.
Yeah, true.
That's one thing that's one of the reasons I really am telling, I tell parents, hey, if you haven't got your kid vaccinated yet, yeah, your kid probably caught COVID. You probably caught Delta or Omicron once. But when you catch COVID unvaccinated, it gives you minimal immunity. And the way I think about that is when you just fight on the street and you didn't train and rehearse and practice and get ready, that beat down did not really prepare you to fight again. So when you catch COVID, you didn't really fight off COVID. You got beat down by COVID and then survived your beat down. That did not give your immune system that much great training. Your immune system mainly was so practice and rehearsal is not the same as like a fight or a war. So surviving a war, you tend to actually, your immune system is kind of, COVID attacks the immune system. So you don't have that much immunity from your COVID infection. Vaccines
doesn't last long.
Yeah, 3 months, we think. 3 months, 4 months, 5 months. So if you caught COVID in May, your immunity is probably, you probably don't have much protection against re-catching COVID in November. This November. So everybody who says, oh, I just caught it in Vegas. Yeah, you're about to catch it again this winter. And the thing is, the problem is each time you catch COVID without some durable immunity, it's a full infection again. Your body has to take another beat down and see what happens. Hopefully it didn't hit your kidney because you have kidney weakness. It didn't hit your circulatory system and set you up for a future stroke. Hopefully it didn't go and really cause brain inflammation and kind of accelerate your dementia that you were going to get in your 80s. Now you're going to get it in your 70s or 60s.
Yeah, it's a big deal.
Yeah.
George, did you have a question about?
I had a couple questions, Doc, while we got you on the hot seat.
Yeah.
Well, I had two questions. I had one by a parent who wanted to know with the booster, she said her child got real sick with the vaccination the first time, like at both doses. And she's scared of the booster do the same thing because they had to miss school and.
Yeah, the COVID vaccine, I only recommend the mRNA vaccines. That's really all that's available for the children anyway. So we usually use the Pfizer vaccine. Also can be now for most ages for kids down to very little. The Moderna, those are the two mRNA vaccines. Those arms, man, that sore arm thing is real with those mRNA vaccines. I every time I get mine, I'm like, oh, this is gonna hurt. So that 48 hours of sore arms is just almost inevitable. And feeling flu-like for 24 hours is pretty common. And many people feel flu-like for a day or two. That's your immunity kicking in and your immune system ramping up, and the training and rehearsal kind of, you can feel your immune system really going through the fight as it's gearing up and learning how to developing all the defenses that the real COVID will, it'll be able to fight off real COVID. But if you had a bad kind of miserable reaction for a few days with the COVID original shots, you probably should get that booster on a Thursday or Friday so that you have the weekend to get through and feel lousy. So yes, you will have those same side effects usually. So people who have mild initial vaccine response, that second dose, you probably have a mild booster response. But if you had a pretty miserable second dose, you'll have a miserable booster response. But we do need to probably get the booster. It appears that our immune system for something like a coronavirus seems to need an initial, what we call priming shot. That's just showing your immune system the first time, what is this? And then it needs a rehearsal dose or a full dress rehearsal, which is that second shot. And to have durable immunity, it appears that a third dose is necessary. Most vaccines we give as 2 or 3 doses, whereas there's no vaccine we give as a single dose.
Right.
Sure.
So now I am telling folks, if you're a kid and you're not about to go on travel right now, you probably can wait for the reformulated booster that has the Omicron variant in it. It's kind of like waiting for iPhone 10 instead of getting another iPhone 9.
Right.
So it's only a month away. So now if you're me, I got my second booster in May, even though I knew there was going to be a modified, better a booster that had the new strain in it in the fall, because I was going to be going to Vegas. Vegas is full of foolishness.
Right.
And I just knew I was going to catch COVID from all those dummies.
Right.
Wearing a mask, So I wanted my immunity at 100% before I got on that plane.
Yeah.
And when I got on that plane, I was like, oh, I'm so glad I got my booster. Look at these horrible people.
Yeah.
People
COVID didn't stay in Vegas. He come back with you.
Yeah. So I just, knowing that I had my immune system was fully trained. I just had my rehearsal, that I had just gone through my immunity training on COVID, a week before. I felt good about that. But if you're going to just be going back to school, and you've had 2 shots, you are as children, we consider that fully vaccinated still.
Okay.
And adults, I would say, anytime, if you haven't gotten one booster, you should get one booster.
Right.
My question is this. So I have a 2-year-old who's still not vaccinated. I'm very grateful that the vaccines are available for his age. And I wanted to wait and see what happened once, 100,000, a couple 100,000 people got vaccinated, just to make sure I'm good. So kind of give that some time. But now I feel like, what is the point of getting him vaccinated against the original strain of the virus when that's really not what's in circulation right now? Is there any hope for an Omicron variant strain? The Omicron vaccine available for kids in that age, is that going to be coming up anytime soon? Have you heard? Because I don't see a point in getting him vaccinated with the original one, and we just had COVID like a month ago.
Yeah. So my advice on that. So we are not at our office. We're doing the 5 and up. We've been doing that for more than a year, and for the teenagers, it's almost 1.5 years, almost 2 years. So we, when I say, hey, I want to give your teenagers this shot, I know several million teenagers have gotten this shot. So we're at what's called 5, 6 sigma. So, I don't fly a new airline when there's only been 100,000 flights. I wait for Spirit Air to fly 1 million flights. Spirit Air is horrible. Right. So I didn't fly it the first 10 years. I waited for a track record. How it doesn't crash? I need to see more flights first. Yes. So that's true for a new vaccine. We don't use new vaccines in our practice just because the CDC and FDA approves it. No, let's let CHOP and them vaccinate 1 million kids, and then we know it's safe.
Yeah,
because many side effects are not 1 in 100,000; they're 1 in 1 million. So I get that. So the 5 and up vaccine has passed multi-millions for children of those ages. So the fact, so if there was going to be some cardiac related side effect or some anaphylaxis side effect, it's already past 5 million for kids. So that would have showed up. We would have seen it in the data. It's clearly as safe as the adult. Adult has passed 1 billion. Give me a break, guys.
Yeah, like you're good.
I mean, how many?
Wait,
everyone on the
King,
planet has to get it before you.
Wait, we're not going to go there. I need you to answer my question because I know you got all this.
And so so I would say, no, you shouldn't wait for Omicron because that thing is probably not going to come out till next spring. So,
but then we're going to be on to a whole new variant by then.
No, but the thing is, the fact that you or your children caught Omicron, that's your priming dose. You should still get a vaccine-generated boost, and that would be the original COVID vaccine. Because the thing is, all of the variants are cousins of the OG. That's true. So your immune system should get an mRNA of the original variant, the original COVID, because that is the original protein from which all the other proteins are derived. So your immune system should see that, because anything that's going to be new is going to have varied from that original one.
And it still has pretty good protection, but it's just
and
not.
It does, but no, but also it's a good way to prime your immune system. It's also helpful for it to see Alpha and Omicron. So catching Omicron is like vaccine 1 for your kid. Yeah, getting a COVID 1, but you could maybe leave it at 1 shot. And
how long should I wait?
And not do.
We're going to wait 3 months after our COVID diagnosis. Do I need to wait that long?
Yeah, no, that's right. Your kid has some real immunity for 3 or 4 months, so you definitely don't have to get it from May, June, July, August, September. You could definitely just wait it out. If there's a huge surge, you better run and get something because you don't have much immunity.
Right.
So can you tell
I would not wait for the. I would not wait for the children's approval for little babies for Omicron. It'll take forever.
I know. It's like a waste of time.
The government is too slow. You will not have any immunity. So you should get 1 of the original, because the reason is it's been well tested.
Yes, exactly. Okay.
I would not get the Omicron, the new the 6 month to 5, because it hasn't passed hundreds of thousands of babies yet.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I would get it when it passes the multi-hundreds of thousands or the million mark, which might be this November.
Wow.
When the safety, because when you don't want something, it's based on safety. I don't know if it's safe.
Yes.
So safety is about how many people have gotten this already.
Yes.
Prove it's safe.
Yes.
When you're getting something for protection, you just get it because the risk is so high.
Yeah.
But for a little kid, an infant, the risks are not as high. The importance of safety is more important. So it is okay to wait, but you can't wait until the new one comes out. Because remember, when the new one comes out, it hasn't been given to millions.
That's true.
Now you'd have to wait.
I was gonna wait
2 years.
I was gonna wait.
Right.
No, but 2 years is like you're getting no immunity.
I know. All right. I hear you. So I got a little bit more time.
Shot. Get 1 baby shot in the winter. Don't wait till next spring.
I got you. Thanks, Dr. King.
Wow.
All right, George, what you got?
As far as you mentioned something about the flu season coming up. So it's a lot of parents that's concerned about flu shots and boosters. And vaccinations. So would they?
They don't do vaccines, or your immune system is a police force. It can deal with robberies and break-ins and car thefts, and so if the fire department can deal with a fire in North Philly and South Philly. I mean, they're different fires. It's a different response. So no, if you need your flu protection to protect from the flu, so you don't get sick and have bad stuff from the flu. And you also need a COVID protection, which your immune system, learning about the flu, learns nothing about COVID, and vice versa. So just like we give you, and when we give you vaccines, the MMR protects against 3 different things at once. The tetanus is a D and a P and a T. That's 3 different things.
Yeah.
Our immune system, when you eat dirt, your immune system has to deal with 10 different, fungus and 3 viruses and 5 bacteria. So our immune system is always dealing with multiple threats at once. And so this idea that somehow like getting 2 vaccinations in the same year, that's nothing.
Well, at the same time.
But also at the same time, most vaccines are multiple different defenses. So the flu COVID vaccine, if they have it, I'd rather do it that way. Yeah, myself. On the other hand, you can just space them out. Do your flu shot, and then 2 weeks later get your COVID shot.
Okay.
You don't have to do them together,
but
you have to have them both.
Right. Okay.
You gotta play ball against the Knicks and learn how to beat the Celtics.
Still got another game the next night. Right.
One or the other. You got to do both.
Right.
Yeah.
It's good stuff. It's good stuff.
But now here's the one thing that I would say that most docs would not say. COVID is a bigger killer.
Right.
If you think COVID killed 1 million, the flu ain't killed 1 million in 20 years.
It takes 20 years to kill, at least 20 years to kill 1 million people for the flu.
So COVID is a way bigger badass.
Right.
So when people think COVID is not a killer, you ain't met no killer then, because COVID, nothing else has killed 1 million people.
Yeah.
World War II did not kill 1 million people.
Right.
Come on now. So
in that amount of time, I mean, wow.
Yeah, perspective. Yeah. So you need to get your COVID shot. COVID killed way more people, and Black people.
Yeah.
Almost 500,000 Black and brown people.
Wow. That's why I'm out here, Doc, outreaching every day.
Yeah. So COVID, you need to, a COVID shot is the defense against something that killed way more Black people than anything else besides slavery.
Wow. I'm start using that when I'm out on the ground. Wow.
In 2 years, 2 years, all the lynchings in his.
I don't want to get triggered on this show, Dr. King. Please don't.
Hey, COVID killed like the Klan. So if I had a defense, I would want it.
Well, y'all heard it. Dr. King said, get the vaccine. It's incredibly safe. Billions of people have been vaccinated. If there was a problem, it would have come up by now. COVID is a killer. And although the rate, like the likelihood that the person would die is low, you're still at risk for long-term effects. I see one of our viewers was saying he has really bad acid reflux now because of COVID. Like he can't drink beer anymore. So it impacts your life, and you just want to make sure you're keeping an eye on that stuff. So George, I just want you to.
I mainly am getting my, if I have to get another booster, it's mainly because I don't want more damage from long COVID. I'm not afraid COVID will kill me now, but I just don't want to have COVID take out my lungs, cause me heart damage. Because every time you catch it, you can get damage when you catch it as an infection. An infection is attacking you. The vaccine is only showing your immune system something.
Right. Wow.
So I encourage folks to, let your immune system get trained up if it hasn't yet. Learn to fight.
Exactly. Yeah. So speaking of that, we are going to share what we have coming up, because if people can't catch the show, we want to let you know we are out in the streets. We're in the community. We have a lot of events coming up to share information with you directly. So George, where are we going to be?
We're going to be in 2 locations this weekend. One of them, we're going to be at Sharon Hill Memorial Park. That's Saturday, August the 20th. It's an art and cultural event from 1 to 6. And we're going to have Francis out there. We're going to have a table. Just helping people go piggyback off of what we're talking about, Doc. And the things that you're, helping the people learn and figure out. And just helping people get closer to the decision of basically getting vaccinated. We're also going to be at a community block party and health fair. It's going to be on Eternal Hope of Glory Church on West 12th Street in Chester. That event is from 10 to 3.
Nice.
So we're out here, Doc. So we appreciate you. It's good having doctors as friends, man. It pays, because it's just coming straight from the doctors And that's the importance of our show. And we totally appreciate you, Dr. King and Dr. Motley. So.
Yeah, thanks.
Hey, and you know, if you like doctors, make an appointment for your primary care visit. COVID has kept us away from our primary care, kept us away from just dealing with our other general health. Now's the time. Schedule that colonoscopy, schedule that mammogram, schedule that visit just to see your doctor. I got this arm that doesn't work as well. I'm gonna get that checked tomorrow, finally get it fixed. So go get your general health, because it's not just it's not just about, defending yourself against COVID. There's lots of things. Your mental health. Now the docs are open again, so get back in person and get in front of your primary care provider.
Right. Wow, that's great advice.
That's
BlackDoctorsPhiladelphia.com. That's where the NMA. That's where we hang out. So you can get online. Our physician directory is going to be up in the fall. So hopefully you'll be able to look and see, like, oh, hey, there's a Black doctor that does this.
Can you repeat that website again?
BlackDoctorsPhiladelphia.com. So that's the National Medical Association, which is the association of Black physicians.
Nice.
1898.
Awesome. Wow. That's good stuff. So
they wouldn't let us in the white association, so we've been associated.
We ain't gonna go there. I told you, don't trigger me today, please. So if y'all looking for a doctor, they will have their directory up soon. Great resource and great Black doctors. Thanks so much for being here today, Dr. King. If anyone needs information on where to get vaccinated, you can always go to delcopa.gov/COVID. And Chester has a website, chestercovidinfo.org. So use your resources, get vaccinated. We have some clinics coming up in a few weeks, and we'll share those on next week's show. Everybody have a good day. Thanks, George. Thanks, Dr. King.
Thanks, Doc. Thanks for coming on. I'll give you a call, Doc.
Appreciate it. Yep. Do.
See y'all.
All right.
And so I think it's important that you understand the clinical trial process.